about. Now, you will wonder, you know, these are like, they look like big jargons, but actually it is not so. If you see, most of these things, to some extent, we have already kind of incorporated in the planning that we have done. And how? I will just try to show that to you. Next one. Now, I just mentioned about the Green Climate Company, so I would not like to go into the details, but I just wanted to mention that for us, this becomes the vehicle to kind of steer the 1 trillion economy growth in partnership with the industries. Next. We have, so we have this very clear mandate that has been laid out for the Tamil Nadu Green Climate Company, which is basically the company is mandated to assess the risk and vulnerability, prepare the greenhouse gas inventory for the state of Tamil Nadu, because unless you have that inventory, you actually do not know the pathway for decarbonization. So we have finished the assessment, or we have finished the document for the greenhouse gas inventory. It is under review. And in the month of February or so, we should be able to make it public. We also are working on clean energy transition, transport, waste management, and of course, the clean and green climate resilient agriculture. Government has also set up the first ever Tamil Nadu Green Climate Fund, which is a 1,000 crore fund. This is basically to assist startups and even established organizations. This we are doing in partnership with the Tamil Nadu Infrastructure Management Corporation, TNIFMC, they are here. We will also be partnering with TNIDB in a big way, and I have our partners from TNIDB also over here. So basically this 1,000 crore fund is to support projects in circularity. For example, it could be plastic circularity, e-waste management, it could also be construction and demolition waste, and it could also be decarbonization pathways for the industry. So that is another area where we are working. Though it is 1,000 crore funding available at this point of time, but we do have the green shoe option of adding another 1,000 crore to the fund, to the Green Climate Fund. And we become the only state in India to have a dedicated climate company. And we are also again the only state in India to have our dedicated climate fund. Next one. Thank you. We again, the state has always been very progressive in ensuring that whatever growth trajectory that we are charting for ourselves, it should be based on data, it should be based on evidence, and it should be based on science. And our climate action is nothing, but it is all of that. So we have set up a governing council under our Honorable Chief Minister's leadership. We have Mr. Montek Singh Ahluwalia, Mr. Nandan Nilekani, we have Mr. Eric Solim, Dr. Soumya, and we have Dr. Ramesh, Mr. Sundarajan, Nirmala Madam is here with us, and we also have Dr. Ramachandran. So as you can see, it's a mix of the scientists, people who are policy makers, people who are data crunchers, and people who have some way or the other have been shaping the destiny of our beautiful country. So I'm very proud that they are, in partnership and in collaboration with us. Next one. Yeah, so just quickly about Green Tamil Nadu Mission, because some of you might be interested in collaborating towards making the state, pushing the state towards the 1 trillion economy. So we have the data is in front of you. But here, the point is not about the data. The point is about the collaboration, community engagement, and taking the climate action to the grassroots level. This slide is about that. Next one. We also have a big level of community engagement coming. Unfortunately, the data is getting hidden. I believe that the technical team is still working on it. But we have, in every district, we have partnered with NGOs and the local community for the Green Tamil Nadu Mission. Basically, the objective is to enhance the green cover from 23.7% to 33% in 10 years. We have already completed 2 years. And we have our mission director over here who actually will be able to answer any questions later. But this is one of the most ambitious greening projects that Tamil Nadu has ever embarked. Next one. We also have the Tamil Nadu Wetlands Mission. Again, not many people would appreciate that wetlands are basically, as we say, the forests are the lungs of a nation. Then wetlands and the marshlands are the kidneys of our beautiful planet. So if you don't take care of the lungs and if you don't take care of the kidneys, what happens to, our planet? The answer or the message is very clear. So here we have taken about 100 wetlands as our goal to kind of restore those wetlands, reconnect, rejuvenate, but more importantly, ensure that the entire ecosystem of these wetlands is rejuvenated. Next one. So I think again Tamil Nadu is the only state in the country which also has very professionally undertaken the economic valuation of wetlands. Not many people understand what is the value of a marshland. You just look at it and you just think it's any kind of a water body. It's not like that. If you had to put a value to a wetland, you will be surprised. And 80 wetlands in Tamil Nadu have been prioritized and identified, and economic valuation has been done. And it's a huge number, which is about 589 million US dollars is the current worth of ecosystem services which are provided by these 80 prioritized wetlands. If I tell you that Tamil Nadu has 40,000 wetlands, what will you think? Just 80 wetlands are offering this much of value. So for any country to be climate resilient, for any country to be really powerful and have a sustainable growth, you cannot ignore wetlands. They have to be an integral part of your policy framework. Next one. Yeah, the climate change mission, and I'm very proud to say that we are the only state in the country where we have very focused approach on 4 missions. I spoke to you about 2 missions already, which is the Green Tamil Nadu mission, Wetlands mission. This is our 3rd mission, which is the climate change mission. And we have the district climate mission set up under the leadership of our district collectors. The DFOs are here. The district forest officers are the first ever climate officers of India, first time appointed in Tamil Nadu. We have and the first time I'm very proud to present to you our green fellows. We have 40 green fellows who are seated over here. They are the Honorable Chief Minister. They have been selected under the Honorable Chief Minister's Green Fellowship Program. So they represent that young generation. They represent that green thinking power that our country needs to create. And we have taken very powerful steps in this direction, because just imagine, this scholarship is for 2 years. And after 2 years, when we get these green fellows with a fantastic orientation at the grassroots level, you have this young green thinking integrated into our project. And I think they can be taken by several industries, to kind of lead their green initiatives. And also we have the programs. I'm not going into the details for the paucity of time. The 25 green schools. We are also setting up 4 carbon neutral hubs, or the districts as you may call them. So we have Nilgiris, we have Coimbatore, we have Virudhunagar, and Rajapalayam is our pilot district, and Nirmala will be talking about Rajapalayam in a little bit more detail, and we have Rameshwaram. So these are the carbon neutral hubs which also have a lot of connection with people. So we are in the process of developing those carbon neutral hubs. Also the climate smart villages. At this point of time we have 11 climate smart villages, but our objective is to have all the villages kind of joining this particular program. Next one. Yeah, so I already spoke about it. We can go to the next thing, please. Yeah, this is the launch of the Honorable CM's Green Fellowship Program. Next one. We also have a climate studio, and perhaps again, the only state in the country to have set up an apex level climate studio. I mentioned to you earlier that our program is based on data and science. We have 20 young scientists, and I would request industries, those who are present here, if they need any kind of information and data about the climate modeling for a particular region, they are most welcome to access the data from our climate studio. And this climate studio is run in Anna University. It has already done sectoral vulnerable assessment and the risk assessment for 6 important sectors. And that includes agriculture, water, it includes forestry, biodiversity, industries, whatever areas that you want to have the information, they will be able to provide this information to you. Next one. I spoke about the climate smart villages. The first village that we are taking up is Pichavaram. Again, the bottoms-up approach is being followed, to make these villages climate resilient. Next. This is our 4th mission. And the 4th mission is not yet launched. We are in the process of preparing the 4th mission, but this is basically a coastal resilient mission, or you would like to call it as the Tamil Nadu coastal mission. Tamil Nadu has a coastal length, the 2nd largest coastline in India, which is 1,076 kilometers, 14 coastal districts in our beautiful state, and several initiatives that you can see are here, but I just would like to highlight 1 or 2, which is about the mangroves, seagrass, and the blue carbon solutions. Now, talking about mangroves and seagrass and corals, it is extremely important for all of us to understand that if you lose this beautiful biodiversity, you are not going to get this back again, and that can be devastating. Therefore, we have a plan to restore all the mangroves, wealth that we have in Tamil Nadu. We have about 40 square kilometers of mangroves in Tamil Nadu, and our plan to add 60 square kilometers, plus it has some data about the restoration also. So about 60 square kilometers is what of mangroves is what we will be adding. Here, there is a potential of the carbon credits, which the industries may be interested in towards a sustainable growth. And that is when it is important for me to mention that we are also a state which has almost finalized the carbon credits policy. So it is in circulation stage at this point of time, but we are very confident that in a shorter period of time, we should be able to lay a very, very good framework for the, for industries to access carbon credits. But once again, I always mention this, carbon credits are not only carbon credits, they are also biodiversity credits. And we are in a process of ensuring in our carbon policy that communities get the maximum benefit out of this carbon trading that we might be doing. Next one. Yeah, so I've already spoken about it and the time is limited, so I'll skip this slide. Next one. I spoke about the Green Climate Fund, 1,000 crores. Please, next one. Yeah, this is something which is very important. When you go down to the exhibition area, you will see that we have a grassroots intervention initiative that we are planning to introduce, which is an eco-pod. Many of you would have heard about it earlier also. We have a very important aspect that we need to look at, which is a huge strength of SHG women. We have about, in fact, this data is hidden, so let me read it out for you. About 198 billion US dollars of worth of microcredit has been obtained by the SHG women in Tamil Nadu, and that actually details the kind of strength that we have. So we want to build on climate resilient, taking these women into account and using basically, kind of collaborating them. I think that's the correct word. Next one. So 500 eco-pods is what we plan to introduce. Next one. Yes, there is a small film. on that. Can we have
Earth's clock is ticking. Every effort counts in the fight against climate change. Climate change doesn't wait. It demands action now. Our planet's future hinges on our choices. Climate change demands action, and these women are answering the call. In Tamil Nadu, a movement is brewing. Women from self-help groups are becoming climate warriors. Empowered with electric vehicles, these women are turning entrepreneurs, championing green initiatives and advocating for change. They drive e-autos, not just to sell eco-alternatives, but to ignite conversations on climate change and sustainable living. With painted vehicles and persuasive messages, they are reshaping mindsets, urging action for a greener tomorrow. These women are more than entrepreneurs. They are ambassadors for a sustainable future. Join their movement, support these climate warriors. The future is in their hands. Climate warriors, pioneering change, empowering future.
Thank you. Next one. I think we can just finish quickly. We have maybe 2 more slides. Next one, please. Yeah, I think we can skip this slide. We can go to the e-waste film. I just would show you 2 films and then we can close it. Yeah, just go back, please. Yeah, this is something that I wanted to talk about. Just a previous slide. Our Mindum Manjapai initiative. If you look at this entire plastic initiative in Tamil Nadu, we have been able to kind of bring an integrated program and, this one. So we have so far, as per our annual report, about 17,185 tons of plastic has already been recycled, and I'd like to show you a small film of the Garnier unit, which has set up a plastic recycling plant over here in Manali area. Can we have the film, please? Yeah, so this is about basically, the recycling initiatives that are going on. We spoke in the beginning of the presentation about the circularity in action. And I have 2 more films that I would like to show you, just 1 minute each, and which is about how industries which are located in Tamil Nadu can partner, collaborate with the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board to bring circularity in action. And here is a short film on e-waste. 5,000 tons of copper in a year and about 51 kilograms of gold or whatever was mentioned. That should excite people. So all the phones that we have in our hands or the laptops that we use or the desktop that we use and we throw it so carelessly, you could actually extract all these valuable materials out of it. So this is a plant that has been set up. We have 6 similar plants set up in Tamil Nadu. We also have the construction and demolition waste management plants which have already been set up. Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board has, are we showing this film? Yeah, construction and demolition waste. I think we can avoid it because the time is up. So I like to finish. You can go to my last slide. Yeah, so I think the time is short, so maybe, sometime later, or those who are interested, we can send you the link of the presentation. But I just wanted to mention here that it is extremely important for all of us to understand that without a very resilient, climate, any kind of a sustainable growth is not possible. So here are the initiatives which are highlighted in one particular slide, which is greenhouse gas inventory already made ready. Pathway to net zeros are going to be drafted after we get the GHG inventory. We also have several other grassroots initiatives, and this is just a snapshot of what we are doing. Rest we can discuss at the time of the question and answer, and I take this opportunity to thank you for your patience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. To present the keynote address, I'd like to introduce to all of you a big believer of sustainable choices and practices it diligently as well. She's someone who's embraced these values long before they were trendy and mainstream, not just in her life, but also in her work. Her fondness for her hometown of Rajapalayam is unrivaled, and she's a strong force behind Ramco's community services program. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a very, very warm welcome to one of the humblest human beings that I know, Tirumati Nirmala Raja, ma'am.
Namaste to everyone. I'm delighted to be here today to offer a keynote address. And first of all, I'd like to thank the government of Tamil Nadu, the Department of Environment and Forests, and the Department for Industries for this opportunity to participate here today. We just heard a very proactive approach about climate action by our Secretary, Mrs. Supriya. So I thought I would share about my personal journey and the learnings that I have actually grown across through over the years around the theme of sustainability. It all began here in Chennai with a school that I manage. A little more than a decade ago, I came across a very interesting program for children in a very fun and effective way as to how they could learn to manage solid waste. This interesting program is called Garbology, like you have other subjects as sociology, pathology, pharmacology. This is a subject on waste and garbage. This subject we started as early as the kindergarten level, and we're taking it up to the high school level. And the beauty of the program was that students were learning in a very fun, effective way, learning topics not in a linear fashion, but in a very systemic, circular way. And I think the immediate experience to see the science of garbology as systems thinking, a circular economy, was the starting point. As even the teachers, students, and members of the school were rapidly learning how to segregate their waste, as ma'am had just shared so many streams. The school started off with 4 or 5 streams, but ultimately we took it up to 11 streams of waste. And the children were really demonstrating not just learning in the classroom, but actually action on the ground. They were learning how to segregate the waste that they were generating at school, and also learning to rapidly become conscious consumers, even as they were demanding for environmentally preferred purchases. So it was a whole system of thinking that was very vibrant in the school. And as they were doing this to gather data, they were measuring their waste and putting it into a waste calculator, and a very fun way to see what was the energy that they were recovering by reducing or recycling and avoiding waste to land up at the landfill. So as even they were embracing waste as a circular economy, they were also learning and celebrating together. Today, there is a behavior change every day with a school of 450 children, a little more than 50 teachers, administrative staff every day, and this has been happening through more than a decade. Additionally, the science of plastics and the study of microplastics reaching the oceans were learnings that they were absorbing very deeply in the school. The education department of our Tamil Nadu government has taken a bold step when we shared of our learnings to publish in more than 10 million textbooks the topics on the science of waste and plastics. So this was really the first starting point in my journey of learning and being able to practice. The success of the school and my personal learnings to learn about waste as systems thinking gave me the confidence to look at challenges as an opportunity. And this new confidence could now be expressed in a new project that came by our way as a public-private partnership. This is in the design of a master plan for a town. A little over 2 years ago, the Tamil Nadu government had taken up a little more than 15 small towns to design master plans for them. One such small town near Madurai is Rajapalyam, and this unique, one-of-a-kind master plan for the town has been designed keeping the water aquifers and recharge spaces completely protected, as even the design had incorporated for the town to go carbon neutral. Keeping these two central principles around which all the spaces of the town were zoned and designed. At every stage of the design, a participatory approach to involve the people of the town to lead the design and to be involved to manifest this master plan was the beautiful energy. So for the first time in India, I feel Tamil Nadu has again been in the lead and has published actively a website for 60 days for citizens of the town to study the maps, to engage in feedback and creative ideas, and in the design of their own town for the future plans. The government has now completed the design of the master plan, and it is truly one of a kind and a model for the country. The master plan, since we are attending a global industries meet, I felt for the audience to share that the master plan clearly leads up for industries, investors, businesses to thrive successfully as economic progress, as even the environment thrives as good water management, energy management, waste management, and creating green spaces. Tamil Nadu government, under the leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister and his team of ministers and our amazing secretaries and bureaucrats, are at the forefront of looking at economic progress in harmony with ecological responsibility. We have one of the best managed states in India to have your establishments and investments to flourish well. I would like to share another story before I end my address, and it is another experience which could help see dreams of the heart and ideas on paper translate on the ground. This is the story of Pandalgudi and the exhausted limestone mines. It is a story of restoration of a land bare of industrial use and mining. Ravaged by decades of mining and extraction of resources, the Ramco Cements Company have chosen to take a social responsibility to restore the landscapes and the spaces. Today, a beautiful ecological park of close to 400 acres with a biodiversity of more than 80 native species of trees and plants stand testimony that the human will, when guided by environmental consciousness, can bring about change. I'd like to play a short video for you to see the transformation of the Pandalgudi mines.
Our world today requires a change of perspective.
As we wait for the video, I'd also like to share that progress is also being done for the next 400 acres of the mines to work on the restoration. And equally, wherever there are projects that industries are setting up, we hope that this can be a model for others to emulate and to take up.
Are we ready with the film, please?
Should we play it later?
Can we just, if it is not working, can we play after some time? Can the technical team
1
confirm?
minute. Okay.
Yeah? After some time? Okay. So
Okay.
Nirmala, maybe after the
Sure.
session gets over, yeah.
I'd just like to take this opportunity on behalf of the government to share again that Tamil Nadu is at the forefront of launching its very own climate change mission, and our leaders are taking the issue very seriously, and Tamil Nadu is paving the way for a greener, more resilient future for the next generation. You and all of us have a beautiful home in Tamil Nadu. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, and please accept our sincere apologies. We will remedy the video situation as soon as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, circular business models are special in the sense that they look for value creation in places usually of very little interest to companies that operate in traditional linear production paradigm. I believe the video is ready for us. Can we have the audio as well, please?
In a little over 18 months, this flagship restoration project, our world designed today by Oroville Botanical Garden perspective, has planted over 200,000 trees and one that allows us to see it from a wider point of view. And this is just the beginning. One that long-term vision over the next 5 years is to cover 800 acres. And a commitment to the future of our environment. This will be a land that welcomes people, young and old, in Panda, who are ready to witness South India, the power of nature at the mines to restore the environment around us. We are able to witness such a project. One that has transformed a worked-out mine into a landscape of hope. We are working with local plants that will inspire the area, now thinking from a barren, about the way we wish to leave the planet, into one that is now home to over 80 species of native trees and shrubs. In a little over 18 months, an ever-increasing population, this flagship restoration project, butterflies, designed by Oroville Botanical Gardens, has planted over 200,000 trees and shrubs. And this is just the beginning. We are rebuilding a resilient ecosystem. The long-term vision over the next 5 years profound impact is to cover not only on the local environment, but one that would reverberate around the mining industry. This will be a land that Ramco is showing a new way forward, who are ready to move into the UN of nature to restore the environment around us. Together, we are creating a better future. We are working with local plants, transforming the area from a barren, rocky landscape into one that is now home to over 80 species of native trees and shrubs, with an ever-increasing population of birds, butterflies, and other animals. We are rebuilding a resilient ecosystem that will have a profound impact not only on the local environment, but one that will reverberate around the mining industry. Ramco is showing a new way forward as we move into the UN decade of ecological restoration. Together, we are creating a better future. Our world today requires a change of perspective, one that allows us to see it from a wider point of view, one that recognizes long-term planning, and a commitment to the future of our environment. In Pandalguri, South India, at the mines of Ramco Cements.
That was truly incredible. We're really grateful for the fact that you shared the video here with us, ma'am. Thank you so very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to introduce to you the founder and CEO of a social enterprise that's pioneered flower cycling technologies to reduce the pollution in the river Ganga by upcycling the vast quantities of flower temple waste in India. They've been awarded the Fast Company World Changing Ideas. They've been recognized by Forbes, Fortune, Business Insider, and the Stanford Social Review. They've been recognized for driving systemic change. The founder of Fool Company, we have Ankit Agarwal. He was named a Queen's Young Leader in 2017, is both an Echoing Green and Acumen Fellow. He's received the prestigious United Nations Young Leader for Sustainable Development Goals Award, the Takeda Young Global Entrepreneur Award, the Unilever Young Entrepreneur Awards, and the GSG Millennial Honor. He's also His Royal Highness Prince William's East Short Prize finalist for the year 2022. Not just that, for all of us, Diwali just went by. I don't know about most of you. They sold out in record time for all of their Diwali gifting, and I got lucky this year. So we're very, very grateful to have you here with us. Thank you for changing the way all of us in India go about our pujas and our celebrations. We look forward to hearing from you.
Can I quickly have the slides, please? Perfect. Okay. Am I audible? Perfect. So first of all, before I start, I would like to thank each and every one of you to take time out to be in this room. Because I've been to investor summits in about 4 states, and nowhere there has been a focus on sustainability by the Environment Department. So first of all, thank you for this opportunity and being here. So now in India, every single day, more than 500 million Hindus, we go to temples and we worship. We offer flowers to our gods. But hardly does anyone think what happens to these flowers afterwards. Sadly, these sacred flowers are dumped into water bodies like the river Ganges, or we leave them under the banyan tree in the temple compound. Next slide, please. Every year, we Indians put in about 8 million tons of waste flowers in the water. Flowers that rot. Flowers that are loaded with pesticides and insecticides. Flowers that create a havoc in the fragile ecosystem of the water body, causing irreversible damage. All that pesticides mixes with the river water and finally leaches into your groundwater that we drink. Researchers have linked this with causes of severe hepatitis, cholera, dysentery across India and Bangladesh, affecting lives of more than 420 million people. The leading cause of child mortality. The sheer volume of flowers is overriding the biophysical stability of the water of River Ganges. Way back in 2015, I had no clue about all of this. I have a Czech friend, his name is Jakub. He had come down to India and I invited him to my hometown, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. In my hometown, there are not many places that I can take someone to visit. So I took my friends to the ghats of River Ganges. We sat there for about an hour and he started counting. He counted around 147 people, including women and small children, taking a dip in the Ganges water. And the water was so dirty at that point in time that we didn't even want to touch that water. So Kuba asked me, are these people mad? Why are you even doing this? You will get cancer, you will get disease. I told him, you won't understand. This is India, this is River Ganges. The water has self-purifying properties and blah, blah, and all that. And I was just uttering gibberish stuff and I was not able to convince him. Then he asked me, this river is so sacred, you worship it, it's your goddess, why is it so dirty? The reasons were innumerous. There's fecal sludge, refuse from tanneries, open drainage, everything used to get into the river at that point in time. And suddenly a nearby temple dumped in a tempo full of flowers in the water. And what happened, all the pesticides, oils that were there in the flowers, that leached onto the surface of water and light started refracting. I was amazed. I've seen my parents, my grandparents, everyone puts temple waste in the water. No one has ever thought of temple pollution as a source of pollution. Next slide, please. So I went back to Semantic where I used to working. My heart was not in the right place. And I felt that I need to really do something about this. And I invested the 72,000 rupees I had in building this company called Fool.co. The first product that we made was charcoal-free incense sticks. Normally, incense that is available in the market is made from charcoal. Simply replaced charcoal from incense and started making pure incense made from flowers. We are the world's only incense that is EcoCert, Cosmos, and Fair Trade certified. Today, we are the highest selling incense online in this country. Next slide, please. I'll quickly walk you through what happens at Fool every day. Now we are present in about 6 locations: Ayodhya, Varanasi, Badrinath, Kedarnath, Bodh Gaya, and Kanpur. We do around 32 tons of flour waste on a normal day and around 110 kgs of tons of flour on festive days. So firstly, our vehicles go to all these temples where all the flowers, all the temple waste is brought in. Then these are segregated to remove or weed out any plastic waste, any milk packets, threads that are there. Then these are sprayed with our own bioclim to offset any pesticides, organophosphates that are there. Then these flowers are thoroughly cleaned to be sun-dried. Next slide, please. Next, click, 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 click. So now, back, please. Yeah. So Fool till today is known just for the incense that you see and that is available in the market. But there is more. In the past 4 years, we have invested around $2.5 million to develop the world's first dedicated R&D towards temple waste. Now I'll tell you about it. Next slide, please. So I know this slide is very gross, and each time I look at this, my stomach churns. If you spare a second and think about the leather industry is coupled with the livestock industry. Together, these two industries consume around 27% of the Earth's fresh water supply, around 30% of Earth's green land mass. And in return, this gives the highest methane emission on the planet. So, but we humans love leather. Leather is not going anywhere. It delivers status, luxury, and comfort. Next slide, please. I'm happy to share at Fool, we have discovered a way to convert temple flowers into a material that behaves exactly like animal leather. We are calling it fleather. We have got 6 patents about it. You can fine tune the material to have any kind of elasticity, tensile strength, any kind of finish. You can get a snake, you can get an ostrich, whatever you desire, we do it for you. Currently, we're supplying it to 2 international brands, and all of this is done with very deep tech R&D based out of IIT Kanpur. Next slide, please. So, for example, a cow takes about 3 years to grow to its full size of hide. Then it is slaughtered to give you the meat and the leather. We grow the same leather in our labs in around 3 weeks of time. Next slide, please. So this is the same ghat that I taken my friend about 7 years ago. We ensured that not a single flower goes into the water today in the cities we operate. Next slide, please. So I'll quickly share about what's closest to my heart in the work that I do at Fool. So in India, there are about 1.6 million manual scavengers. Manual scavengers are people who jump neck deep into clogged sewers and scrape human feces from dry toilets. And it's a very big taboo subject. No one wants to clean their own toilets, and no one even wants to talk about who cleans your toilet. Next slide, please. At Fool today, we employ around 800 women full-time who were earlier from the scavenging community. This radical idea does not only give them a disease-free livelihood, but a livelihood of dignity and respect. Quick, next slide, please. So since I'm short on time, I just tell you about Prema. So this is an old picture. We just started working. It had been almost a year. And one day, Prema started distributing laddus in the factory. And I asked her what happened. She said, why are you wasting money on the laddus? She said that even if I give half a laddu to everyone, but today I'll give laddus. I said, what happened? She told me, today I bought a refrigerator on EMI. So I said, you've already taken a loan. Why are you wasting money? So she said that when she was 19 years old, the place where she used to clean the toilets, she wanted to have water. And the owners didn't want her to touch their utensils, so they didn't give her water. After working with Fool for about 8 months, she was able to save enough money to buy that refrigerator. And then she said, this morning, my so-called upper-class neighbors, their kids came and had water from my refrigerators. So now my kids are equal to their kids and I can die peacefully. So my work is not just about cleaning waste on the lands, but it is also about cleaning what our earlier generations have done. Last slide, please. So this is also an old picture. We are like about 800 people now. Thank you, and I wish you a very successful gathering. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please give him a much bigger round of applause than that? From cleaning up waste to addressing issues of human dignity, major respect to everything that you do. And I'm hoping you can put that brain to good use and solve many more problems. Ladies and gentlemen, next I'd like to invite Mr. Venkatamurugan NS, the Head of Operations, World Glass Complex, Sri Perumbudur, and Head Technical, Glass India. He's leading the sustainability initiatives in glass operations involving all 3 scopes, primarily focusing on new furnace design and technology, alternate fuel, raw material, and renewable energy. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. While the slides are coming up, I just want to thank everyone here, Supriya ma'am, the Tamil Nadu government. I see a lot of senior government officials are here from Pollution Control, Forest Department, and several other departments, industry friends, and the visitors, and particularly the youngsters. Quite happy to see. When I walked in, Mr. Supriya ma'am told me that while you talk about your organization, what you're doing, also talk about what we should be doing together along with the government. So what more can I ask, ma'am? You have represented the government here. You have represented and very strong company in India, Ramco Siemens. In fact, ma'am, she just left. I wanted to actually acknowledge, I've seen the film before. Huge respects to the company, the Indian company, which really did such a nice, the business which we are in, which are quite similar to what the Ramco Industries manufacturing is related to. Highly, hugely respectful company. And asking us, a multinational company which has 3.5 centuries more of presence in the manufacturing. And also the 2 youngsters, I think it's a very nice composite mix, looking forward to future learning from the past and what is the priority for today. And also I acknowledge you to have got all the fellows here. They are going to really drive taking the ideas. That's really fantastic. So as I already mentioned, Saint-Gobain is a French company which has been in existence for 359 years to be precise now. Started by King Louis XIV. It had started for making mirrors and glass and all products for home. Today, we continue our journey to not only making glass, but also to make all the products except cement and steel that goes into making our home. When you look at manufacturing, generally any citizen, a public is very concerned about the huge amount of energy that we spend and also the emissions that goes with that. But home is required for all of us. How sustainably we can make the home is the way in which we are trying to look at. And our company, which has been in existence for 358 years, making largely the products for home construction, would not be surviving for so long. I tried to Google search to see if there is a company better than ours who has been longer than ours. I couldn't find an organization. So there must be something our predecessors have done and our past, present people are doing. And it's a legacy that we also wanted to create in India. The 25 years that we have been, it's just a quarter of a century. Saint-Gobain, for whatever we have done, we have been not just in manufacturing and top 100 sustainable organization for the last 15 years in a row. So what we are trying to do to make the world a better home, when there is a lot of clarity, what the entrepreneurship ideas that the youngsters have kind of thrown up, which was never even thought in the past. If we have a better clarity in terms of what the real opportunities exist, we will have a better way forward. So on that context, I'd like to touch upon when we are looking at making the world a better home. What are we looking at when we want home? We wanted a place to live, which means the place has to be safe, the place has to be more energy efficient. You need a better air quality, we need better hygiene, and we need a positive vibrancy. And that's exactly what we are trying to do whenever we are trying to look at our products. When we look at the place where we work, that's very important as well. And this is where the Tamil Nadu government is playing a significant role. Ma'am, you talked about the carbon credit and the carbon rating. This is the 4th program I'm attending with you, ma'am, in the last couple of years. And I should be thanking you for really taking, you must be wondering in a session like this, when we have this kind of a symposium conferences and a lot of things happen, how does it translate into in terms of real work? There's quite a lot of activity that's happening. And in a way, I also wanted to acknowledge Pollution Control Board. For example, whenever there is an hazardous waste or even any waste that's going out, the engineers and the scientists in your department, ma'am, are really nudging us to say, why do you want to put it in a waste? We will help you find the right industry where it can go for a co-processing. This kind of a collaborative work. In fact, we have converted several of our waste which has been going for landfilling, and that exactly is what the circular economy which we are talking about. In a way to look at the reduced emissions point of view, for a lot of thanks for the introduction done. The energy reduction point of view, when we started our first float line in the year 2000, the amount of CO2 that we were emitting was 0.7 tons per ton of new glass. That has been reduced by better engineering solutions and the furnace designs to 0.6 ton per ton of new glass, which on a 3.5 million tons of glass that is being made, that's quite a huge number. And further, that was in 2019, and further in the last 4 years, there has been further more advancement thrust to the sustainability that has happened, that has made the glass manufacturing reduce the carbon footage down to 0.5 tons. 20 years ago, when the glass was being dispatched, we used to pack in wood. And nearly for just Saint-Gobain alone, we would have required nearly 3 lakh trees to be cut to make the packing wood. And today we are not sending any glass, barring a small niche segment that requires still the wooden packing. We are saved already more than 5 million trees from not being cut. And the way the glass industry logistics has been changed is also one of the things that we are working and proud of. In terms of green manufacturing, which you talked about, since the slide is up, classically the glass is made with silica sand. It's a glass former, everyone knows about it. To reduce the melting point, we add soda ash, sodium carbonate. There's a lot of carbonate that comes out of it. And then the dolomite, for the magnesium oxide, we put in magnesium carbonate and calcium carbonate in the form of limestone. Today we are really, and for every 100 kg of raw material that we put in, there is 82.3 kg becomes glass and 17.7 kg comes out as CO2. And today we are really looking at how are we going to use alternate raw materials which doesn't have carbonates. So instead of using calcium carbonate, sodium carbonate, and magnesium carbonate, can we use magnesium silicate? Can we use calcium silicate? Can we use sodium hydroxide? These are all not very easy to be used. Glass as a product has been there for 6,000 years. And largely the products that has been used were related to the carbonates. And today there is a wind of change that's happening, forced by the sustainability. And even the small proportion of the CO2 that will come out of the alternate of the raw materials and from the fuel, can we convert that? That is the carbon circularity that we are talking about. There is an industry, for example, to manufacture urea or soda ash. They take the CO2. And whether the CO2 that comes out of it can be used up in a circular way. That is the direction in which there is a technology that is available. And also in terms of talking about the circular economy, the building demolition waste that Chennai Corporation and Tamil Nadu government is really looking forward to. We can use all of them, and in our group we also have a plaster business. Instead of using an 1-inch thick plasters, it already has a 6% recycled content. It can go up to 20% recycled content, the plasters. The building demolition waste can go into it. And in this product of plasters, actually by way of the CO2 that is coming out of our emissions, can carbonize it and make the product strength more than 55%. So there's a lot of, with the advent of pure science, there is quite a possibility. So on the couple of slides that went up already, I just wanted to say, the recycling, like Ankit mentioned, after the, it's also not so easy. Normally, a life cycle of a glass is about 30 years. So which means that the glass that has been produced on an average 30 years back only can come back to the recycling. And 30 years back, the glass market in India was only 1 lakh tons. And today we are talking about 35 lakh tons of glass being manufactured. And so which means for all the glass to come back, we are taking a lot of efforts to see how we can avoid using the virgin raw material. We also talked about, we are quite proud that on the World Environment Day in 2023, globally, Saint-Gobain has been the first to make a low carbon glass. That was in 2022 in France. And in India, we are again the first to make the low carbon glass. When we filed our EPD, the Environmental Product Declarations, we estimated this to have 40% reduction in the CO2, but then it ended up saving 54% CO2. So that is the low carbon glass that we are talking about. And coming to the rainwater harvesting, that the nice reservoir that you saw, we have a reservoir, 2 reservoirs for 15 crore liters. We are actually consuming more than 80% for the last couple of years consecutively, thanks to the good rain that we are having. For our process are coming only from the rain, and even the remaining 20, we are taking only the TT RO water coming from the SIPCOT. And coming to the trees, so today we are proud that our campus, though it's now nearly full with all the industrial activities that has happened. And I'm also happy to say that while talking about our factory in Sri Perumbutur, Saint-Gobain, as I said, is a 358-year-old company. And within the 23 years of operation, to be 24 years of operation, this site is already the largest out of the 1,600 odd entities that Saint-Gobain has globally. And that, I think, the drive comes from the way we are sustainably working on. So within the campus and the OSR land that we have taken from SIPCOT, we have more than 1,60,000 trees that has been planted. And if you can go to the next slide, please. The last slide but one. So thanks to, I see a lot of familiar faces here who have actually visited our plant. The next one, please. The Chief Minister actually inaugurated this OSR land less than 2 years ago. And this visits by the IFS forest officers and the district environmental engineers from the Pollution Control Board. They not only visited our OSR land or the urban forest as we call, they also visited the entire factory for more than a day. And they were giving us a lot of interesting insights about how we can work together. And this, ma'am, exactly is the collaboration that we are talking about in terms of how positively the industry, the government, the regulatory bodies, and the startups and the young minds and the R&D can work together. And we are here to collaborate with the government, 100% of what the guidelines are. It has been a good journey so far. I'm sure it will continue with the kind of momentum that we see here. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Our next speaker is India's first certified chocolate taster and judge at the International Chocolate Awards, ICA London, and a cocoa post-harvest professional. He's also a retail business consultant with over 15 years of experience in the Indian FMCG business. Welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, I would be remiss if I didn't introduce him fully. Please put your hands together. Join me in welcoming Mr. L. Nitin Chaudia.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for spending some time, for this section. Thanks for spending time here. I'm really privileged. I know all my earlier speakers have thanked you enough, but I think another vote of thanks for everyone who's attending, taking time out to understand sustainability and all the work, good work we've been doing. We've played a small role as a small player in the cocoa and chocolate value chain. And somehow managed to bring sustainability in the focus of our business. And so I have a few slides today just to show a little bit of the efforts that we've done. We are a small and medium business in that sense, but I think with this platform, we're able to dream very, very big. And I'm very happy to be presenting, this effort of ours here. And thanks to ma'am to invite us here to be able to do this. If we can just start the presentation. So this is a range of bean-to-bar chocolates, and what we see as a final product actually goes through a lot before it gets converted to a final product. So there is cacao, which is a fruit that grows and then gets processed and then gets made into chocolate. So that's a little bit of the journey in short, but what we typically have seen in the last 10 years or recently maybe in the last 5 years is the shift from Indian sweets to Indians preferring chocolates on various occasions, right? So we've seen that as the positive side of our business, but obviously that also gets us thinking about how Indian sweets could have been more sustainably packed. For example, we used to get sandesh, which is like an Indian sweet in proper banana leaves packed, and even a lot of South Indian sweets packed very eco-friendly, in a very eco-friendly manner. But as we move to chocolates, which is becoming a product of choice for consumption and also gifting, it has really meant that we need to think about how we need to preserve the environment while this is damaging it in many ways, more ways. We've seen over the last 5 years a lot of reports coming. We worked quite hard from 2019 to ensure that we do our bit, being a small brand, making a difference in the chocolate and the cacao industry. So also just to bring to note, brand, and I think there are opportunities for everyone in the FMCG space. We operate in a small niche, which is chocolates within the FMCG space, but we saw a couple of examples of Garnier, for example, who's doing a lot within the circular economy. So we get inspired a lot by the large multinationals trying to do their best. We believe we come with a little less baggage, so we're able to do a little more and bring a lot more dreams of our dreams into action. So I'm just going to take you through a few of our efforts going forward. So the first problem we have is cacao itself as a raw material to make chocolate is highly unsustainable from a farming perspective because it needs a lot of water to grow. Followed by which there is processing that needs to happen, which is again obviously energy intensive, and then finally the packaging, which brings a lot of dissatisfaction to us when we're trying to find solutions. So a lot of packaging is plastic based in the chocolate industry. Also because gifting is a big part, and usually when you gift, you will golden the plastic that looks quite jazzy, a perennial problem across the industry, and we've done our bit to kind of solve it. Recently, I mean not recently, 2018, what actually inspired us to, looking at circularity in the chocolate industry is there was a deep sea diver, an American lady who went the deepest possible she could in sea, and what she actually came out with was some chocolate wrappers, some plastic chocolate wrappers. And I think that is reason enough for everyone to get concerned about what we are doing, but that's something that inspired us to make a difference in a small way we can. Next slide. So just a quick introduction. I think I've already been introduced. I'm a certified chocolate taster, but most importantly, it is the value chain that we work in, and starting from the cocoa post-harvesting is where we start our efforts, trying to make the entire value chain more sustainable and circular as much as possible in nature. So this is what the final result of our efforts are. A chocolate bar, which is the first chocolate bar in the world that follows the circular model effectively and is also a zero waste model. But it has to start from the farm, right? So at the farm, we work with farmers, a lot of cacao farmers in the south of the country, and we've started to change their traditional post-harvesting practices to make it more sustainable, and of course improve quality and the price that they get as a result. So earlier there used to be a traditional model of fermentation of the cacao plant, the fruit, which uses a lot of natural resources, wood, cut wood available in the farm or close to the farm. But we changed a lot of that infrastructure, or rather trying to change a lot of the infrastructure to use less of those resources. So moving from 7 boxes to a barrel of that size is easily about 40% reduction in the wood that is being used. Unfortunately, we can't get away with that, but we're trying to see if there are better ways to go about it. But that's really the first change we do at the very grassroots level within the farm. Next slide. Even when it comes to drying, the traditional drying has not so much bothered about how bad it is maybe for the environment. So we move to more sun drying, direct sun drying, though it takes a little bit more time, but then we don't get left over with this infrastructure. Also because you have to remember this is a seasonal business, so the next 6-7 months of the year this infrastructure is not going to be used. So we've managed to create or reduce the amount of say polycarbonate or plastic that we use for drying purposes, and we choose farms that have enough sunshine and wind, and we use that as the natural way to achieve our drying goals. Next. We then purchase directly from the farmers. That really helps the farmers obviously get a better deal and also incentivize them enough to incorporate sustainability as much as possible. Coming to the processing of the chocolate itself. So traditionally a lot of chocolate is made as using raw materials that are itself very highly processed, right? One of them is clearly cocoa powder, which is, India is one of the largest importers of cocoa powders in the world for our own consumption, which gets converted to chocolate. So we avoid working with ultra-processed ingredients, and we use cocoa beans directly, which are grown in India, and they come as little as 400 kilometers away from our manufacturing unit. So we use those materials so that we can achieve a lot of control when we process the chocolate, and we'll see how we can do that. So when we use the cocoa beans, we actually also use the shell for our packaging material. The next slide, please. So while we manufacture, we of course try to use more energy efficient equipments, which are a part of our continuous goals, I think, to keep reducing the energy dependency. But our first initiative was to create packaging which would not contain any paper or plastic, because we believe as a business, when we run our business, at least our wish is to not cut a single tree to run our operations and be profitable. I think that's one aspect that we're very, very clear about, because if you're not profitable year on year, we would obviously have to depend on external funding, and that is not sustainable by itself. Business continuity for us is very, very critical. So this is a wrapper which, the beans, cocoa beans, when roasted, actually leave out a shell which gets into landfill. So what we did here was we work with garment factory, the exporters, who make garments, and the leftover cotton fiber or bits is what we put together along with cocoa shells and create our packaging, which then we use watercolors to print on with screen printing alone. So at the entire process, we eliminate the use of too much energy, because chocolate processing itself is very energy centric. So we don't want to add to the energy requirements for the packaging part at least. And then because it's water-based prints, we are able to actually build something which is biodegradable, compostable, which is already upcycled, by the way, and is also recyclable. So for us, this brings us enough joy, working this business, because there's anyway a lot of harm done, and this helps us eliminate or reduce the harm a bit. On the inside of the wrapping, we actually, because we aim to be a zero waste operation, we don't want any resource used to be dumped into the ground without giving a possibility for a reuse. That's been our aim for a very long time. And on the inside of the packaging, we print so that it gives the user or for the consumer to reuse the packaging before he may decide to send it back to us. Right? The next slide, please. And these are just examples of various interesting things that we do. It could become a greeting card.